Getting a prescription for a popular weight loss drug like Wegovy can feel like trying to solve a puzzle, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you the map and break down every single step of the journey. You've definitely heard the buzz, you've seen the headlines, but how do you actually get it? The process has some really critical steps that a lot of people overlook, so let's clear up the confusion and just lay out the exact path for you. Before we get any further, let's be super clear about something. Wegovy, which is just the brand name for a drug called Semaglutide, is not a supplement you can just grab off a shelf. Nope. This is a powerful prescription-only medication for a really good reason. It requires serious medical supervision. So, where do you even begin? Well, the very first hurdle is eligibility. Before you even talk to a doctor, you need to see if you meet the specific criteria set by the FDA. You can think of them as the first gatekeeper on this whole journey. Okay, so according to the FDA, Wegovy is approved for adults and even kids over 12 who fall into one of two categories. First, you have to have a body mass index, or BMI, of 30 or higher. The other option is if your BMI is a bit lower, say between 27 and 29, but you're also dealing with a weight-related health issue like high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes. So what exactly is BMI? It's basically just a metric that uses your weight and your height in a simple formula to get a rough estimate of body fat. Think of it as a quick initial screening tool for doctors. But, and this is a huge but, BMI has its limits. It's kind of a blunt instrument. It can't tell the difference between muscle and fat, and it doesn't account for really important differences in body composition that have to do with your ethnicity, sex, or age. This is a critical point to discuss with your doctor because your health is so much more than just one number. So let's say you've cleared that first hurdle and your doctor writes you a prescription. That's great. But now you're facing the next challenge, finding a safe and legitimate pharmacy to actually fill it. And this is where you have to be extremely careful. The internet is just flooded with unregulated sellers who are pushing counterfeit drugs. At best, they won't work, and at worst, they can be really dangerous. The only safe option is to use a state-licensed, regulated pharmacy. Thankfully, you don't have to just guess. There are official free tools from both the FDA and the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy that you can use to verify any online pharmacy. But, the simplest path? Just ask your doctor for a trusted recommendation. Okay, let's talk about the two biggest roadblocks that a lot of people face, even when they have a prescription in hand, and those are affordability and availability. With the right insurance plan, the cost of Wegovy can be surprisingly manageable. In the best-case scenario, some patients can get a copay as low as $0 for a whole month's supply. Without insurance coverage, however, the picture changes dramatically. The out-of-pocket cost can shoot as high as $650 for a single 28-day supply. And for many people, that's just not affordable. So, how do you figure out your specific cost? Well, it's going to take a little homework. Check your insurance plan's website or just call them directly. Your doctor might also need to submit something called a prior authorization, which is basically just extra paperwork to justify the prescription to your insurer. And here's a crucial point. As of right now, Medicare does not cover Wegovy for weight loss. The other major roadblock is just getting your hands on it. Since about mid-2023, the demand has been so staggering, it's created these widespread, ongoing shortages, leaving a lot of patients unable to fill their prescriptions consistently. This means you really have to be proactive. Don't wait until you're on your very last pen. Plan ahead. Contact your pharmacy well in advance, confirm they have your specific dose, and be prepared to call around to other locations or maybe use a verified online pharmacy as a backup. So what happens if the cost is just too high, or you simply can't find Wegovy in stock? Well, this is where the conversation with your doctor shifts to the alternatives. So here are some of the main alternatives. You've got Zepbound and Saxenda, which are also FDA-approved for weight management. Then you have drugs like Ozempic, which has the exact same active ingredient as Wegovy, but is technically approved for type 2 diabetes. When a doctor prescribes it for weight loss, that's called off-label use, which sounds a little strange, but it's a common and totally legal practice in medicine. And finally, getting that first prescription isn't the finish line, not at all. In a lot of ways, it's actually the starting line. This is a long-term commitment, and it's so important to think about what that really means for you. While Wegovy is FDA approved, it's still a relatively new medication. The full picture of its effects over decades, well, that's still emerging. That's why having ongoing, regular check-ins with your doctor is absolutely non-negotiable. It's how you monitor your health and manage any potential side effects. Which really brings us to our final and most crucial takeaway. The prescription is just one piece of the puzzle. Wegovy is a powerful tool, for sure, but lasting health isn't something you find in a pen. It's built through continuous, lifelong conversation with your healthcare team.